Hey, good morning, guys. Happy Saturday. Um, so this is part two of Lovers and Friends, Valentine edition. I am Tumba McKendy, aka that's my dog. She wants attention every time. Every time she feels I'm talking to somebody else, she has to get attention. All right, so we're gonna talk a bit louder because of my dog. Um, So this is the second edition of Lovers and Friends. I am Tumba Mukendi, aka Agape Love Speaker, aka Bridal Designer. So the topic today is, can men and women be friends and lovers when right? You've been together for a long time and don't like each other? So that could be a married couple as well. Um, you got physically intimate after the first date. You just did do after the first date. So those are two scenarios. Um, Now I'm gonna go into my mood again. I think it's important to see how you can handle your mood, right? Um, and move forward throughout the day. Okay. So I do still have this family situation going on. It did improve, right? But so this is my way of being in my core, remaining still in the storm, and my core being agape love, just being. So you guys are actually helping me as well. So we're helping each other, and that's what being soulmates is all about. So you guys are my soulmates. Hey, soulmates, right? Um, so moving right along. So it is essential that I'm just gonna go ahead and mention what I've mentioned before, just a little review, because this also applies to this particular episode. It is essential to be best friends, right? When you're in a relationship, or just um, being soulmates, meaning you've made a pact in the spirit realm to meet, right? To exchange information and learn something from each other. So it is essential to be best friends, especially in a romantic relationship, right? Sometimes you meet as soulmates as a catalyst. So sometimes you're not best friends, right? And sometimes you can be in a relationship and be catalysts for each other. Okay, so it's up to you to make your discernment whether your partner is a catalyst or a soulmate or a twin flame. Now, soulmates, as I've mentioned, you've made a pact in the spirit realm to be romantic partners or friends, right? To exchange information, learn from each other, so you can remember that you are spiritual beings in the fifth dimension, agape love in the fifth dimension, having a physical experience here in the third dimension. So you helping each other remember that. Now, twin flames, on the other hand, whoo, twin flames. Twin flames is the same spirit in the fifth dimension. You are the same spirit in the fifth. You're sharing a spirit in the fifth dimension, and you have decided. It's not like you guys made a pact, but you, as one spirit, have decided to come down and split into two, a feminine energy and a masculine energy, into two physical beings. Okay, so sometimes, not for all twin flames, for a lot of twin flames, your lessons will be at accelerated speed for you to remember who you are in the fifth dimension. It's going to be accelerated. A lot of times the twin flames split up because the pressure is so much, because their lesson is at fast forward speed, right? So it's the pressure so much, a lot of twin flames split up, and then they come back together. Sometimes they don't come back together, but a lot of times they come back together. They have to make that split because the pressure is so much. Um, Now, you do have to make a discernment. Some people because that happens with twin flames where they have to split up. A lot of people think that their catalyst is a twin flame. Okay, so you have to make that discernment if the person is your twin flame or a catalyst. If the person is your soulmate or a catalyst. Okay, catalyst meaning they're there to cause an enormous change for you to grow. Okay, so they'll trigger a change in you through discomfort, a lot of discomfort. I know. Okay. Um, so moving along to the next information. All right, so I'm gonna go into historical there's some historical theories about black love. Okay, now I'm saying theories because there's information I thought were fact, right, about slavery and colonialism, right, and I've done some more research recently and I found out they weren't facts, so that's up to you to research. But that's why I'm saying theories. Okay, so the first theory that I wanted to talk about was, now all these three. It's two theories. I broke it down to two theories that about slavery and colonialism that resulted in disconnect between the feminine and the masculine in the black community. Okay, so I'm focusing on what could have caused a disconnect. Okay, so these are some of the theories. Okay. So the first theory I wanted to touch on. So I'm going to touch on these really quickly because I believe that these theories, yes, they can affect you, but you can also dissolve them. Okay, so I'm gonna, as I go along, as I continue talking, you will see how you can dissolve them. So the first theory was women were for breeding, right? So then there was no connection recognized. There was no connection recognized between the masculine and the feminine as far as relationship, as far as love, as far as this unity, right? So they were used to breed more slaves, more children. So there goes that disconnect again, right? Where they were coerced to just think of themselves as, the woman would go, the woman was treated as a breed. So sometimes you can internalize the way you're treated. So the woman was treated as a breeding product or a breeding machine, and then the men were treated as the breeder, right? And some people are saying that that's why black men, they have these children and they leave them. So those are theories, okay? Theories, right? So I'm just focusing on what could cause a disconnect. And then the second theory, there was no marriage is allowed. Marriage is a very sacred symbol of a unity between masculine and feminine energy. Okay. And that could cause a disconnect, that lack of recognition that can be internalized, okay, and cause trauma. And also, and then it's like the men, right, that were with these women, right, masculine and feminine, back in those days, even in colonial days, that were enslaved in their own country. They were not the men of the house. It was the master that was the men of the house. So sometimes the men of the house were taken away to another slave master, and then the women were left to breed for themselves, not breed, to fend for themselves. So that's where the theory is over here for African Americans. That there's a lot of single mothers, so that's the theory of of where that comes from. Um, but in most African culture, uh, in Africa, or newly Africans that come here, um, they the parents stay together for the children. Now the relationship may not be the healthiest relationship, right? It is still that, I would say there's still some colonialism going on, right? Still colonialism going on with over masculinity and masculine dominant masculine uh, I would say residue, and hitting the children culture. These are things I disagree with, but those are the type of things that I see may have come from colonialism. Because I have spoke to a historian who said that before colonialism, it was more of a matriarchal society in the Congo, where I'm from. So I'm imagining a lot of African countries were also matriarchal society, so it may have looked different. Um, and how do we resolve that, right? If these theories are somehow connecting to how we are now, right? Um, Now we resolve that by recognizing, right? Recognizing that we are not what these systematic labels or we're not even, you're not even black, right? We're not even black, all right? We're not even like color races. You know what I'm saying? We're not race. These identities that we are. I would say it's not even a permanent label. Okay, these are just temporary labels that we are taking on for communication, but we're not even black. We're not any race. We are agape love. Okay, we are agape love in the fifth dimension, and we're having a physical experience in the third dimension. Okay, so once we start experiencing being agape love, all these construct, all these things that we learned and relearned and was passed on will start just like, like that song from Taylor Swift. Haters gonna hate, 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 right? All this hate construct and systems, right? Haters gonna hate, hate. Just shake it up, right? You're gonna start shaking it off. It's gonna be easier for you to shake it off, and you're just gonna show up as agape love. Okay. Now, how to love yourself fully to be your own best friend. Now, why love yourself fully to be your own best friend? Okay. So, if you're in a relationship where for a long time where you don't even like each other, right? And this also goes for if you got intimate quickly and then you didn't have a chance to build a friendship, right? So we're talking about friendship, right? Friendship, friends and lovers, okay? So it is important to love yourself fully so you can be whole and be your best friend, your own best friend. So when you become your own best friend, that's how you're able to be your partner's best friend. Okay, that's when you can be your partner's best friend. So that's one way of mending the relationship, becoming one way of becoming best friends despite the circumstances. And a second thing you can do, let's see, second thing you can do is, okay, second thing you can do is be in your purpose. Be in your purpose. If you don't know what your purpose is, oh, excellent thing to do. You can even do this with your partner. a fun, excellent thing to do is get a GPS reading of what your purpose is supposed to be. I did that with Queen Esther, and it confirmed everything. The words that came out of her mouth was love and relationship. That's what I'm supposed to be doing, and it just confirmed it and confirmed it and confirmed it. Okay. So once you are in your purpose and you find out what your purpose is, right, you start to and support your own purpose. You can support your partner's purpose, right? And you can support each other's purpose. That's why I think it's a great idea to do this for Valentine's Day. Both you and your partner could get a GPS reading from Queen Esther, none other than Queen Esther. And then you could start supporting each other's purpose, right? So a visual example of that, right? I use popular people because people know who they are, or they see, not know them personally, but they seen them, and so you can see what it looks like. So I would use Jada Pinkett. Okay, Jada Pinkett started meditating, right? She started meditating and she found this her new purpose, which was a red table talk. I think it was her purpose all along, right? Red table talk. And but she's always been supportive of Will Smith's career, right? His dream. She's always been supportive of his dream, but he took off time, right, from his work, right, his dream, to put together Red Table Talk. So he took like a year off or 2 years off to put together Red Table Talk for her. He did research and all this and that, and it's a great show. She's up for the NAACP Black Image Award, or so it's going well, But you see how they're supporting each other in each other's purposes, his dream and her purpose. And I think Red Table Talk is like her purpose. So that is an example, a visual. That's like a visual example. Let's see. Okay, and another important thing about loving yourself, being in your purpose, you can show up as your higher self, right? And you can start leading when you are showing up as your higher self, right? It's when you show up as a higher self, you're like an example. So another example, Will Smith and Jada Smith, right? So she started meditating. She's showing up as her the best version of herself, right? And she's doing her Red Table Talk. Next thing you know, Will does a Red Table Talk with Aunt Viv, right? The Aunt Viv of I'm forgetting her real name, but she played Aunt Viv of the Fresh Prince, and it's Jada that led that type of interaction. She led that type of interaction. It was a healing experience for Aunt Viv, right? I'm forgetting her name. I'm so sorry. But she led that. Jada Pinkett, she led that, and then Will did a whole thing and a healing interaction with the Aunt Viv. Sorry, forgetting her name. Getting your name. Okay. So that's what can happen when you show up as your best version, the best version of yourself, your higher self. Okay. What other point did I want to make? Another point. Okay, so how can you fully love yourself, right? Fully loving yourself is loving the image of God. Your image of God. Who are you as the image of God? You are agape love, right? What does that mean? How does that show up in your life? What does that look like in your life? Being agape love, right? How do you find that out? Like, how do you implement that into your life? Being agape love. Okay, so you can do that. Like, you can find out who you are as agape love, and it's through silent meditation. All right. I'm using Jada Pinkett a lot because is one of the only ones that I see that's popular, and that's very visual right now. Um, when she started meditating, right? Um, so silent meditation, right? She started meditating. She started showing up as her best version, right? But when you do meditate, you experience that silence and that energy, that still energy, right? That's there observing your thoughts. Your thoughts is like the storm, like that keeps just flowing by, right? Like like um like a sailboat on water, it just keeps flowing by, finding your thoughts. That still element that's observing these thoughts as a third person is your experience of being agape love. That's you being agape love, that stillness. And the more you practice that, the more you're going to show up as that stillness, that agape love, right? And it's going to show up different in everybody's life, all right? We see how it showed up in Gabby's life, right? Her red table talk just started booming, it's very healing. So for you, it's going to show up in a different way, but it's all about starting off, right? And there's many different tools, like she said that therapy didn't work for her, right? It may work for you. Therapy may work for you, but for her, it was silent meditation, you know. And for me, it's silent talk meditation. For me to show up as my best version is always silent meditation for me. And for me to experience being love is silent meditation for me. To experience being that stillness is silent meditation. Okay, guys. Let me see what other point I wanted to make. Okay, purpose, experiencing. Okay. So I guess this is all I wanted to touch on today. So I'm going to do a quick review, right? So all the theories about Black love coming from colonialism, may come from colonialism or slavery, right? It can be dissolved by experiencing being love. You show up as love, all those other things you can start to shake it off, right? Shake it off, right? Haters gonna hate, right? When you just shake it off, right? When you start experiencing being agape love. And that just takes practice with silent meditation or other tools that you can use. Being your partner's best friends, even when you don't like each other, even if you've been with each other for a long time, maybe marriage or just a long-term relationship, or just after moving a bit quickly, right? Having sex after the first night, you could go into loving yourself fully, right? Right? Loving who you are as agape love, finding out who you are as agape love, and becoming your best friend, so you could therefore it's gonna be easier for you to be able to be your partner's best friend, and also being in your purpose. Supporting your own purpose will help you support your partner's purpose. Okay, and so all these things are tools that I recommend, but it's before you even get to therapy. Therapy is another tool, right? This is before you even get to therapy, and the tools I'm recommending will also let you know if you are with a catalyst, right? Soulmate catalyst, or if you are with your longtime soulmate. So that's why I give you these tools. It will help you discern if you are with a catalyst, a soulmate catalyst, right? Because catalysts are also soulmates. Don't get it twisted, right? Soulmates are also catalysts, right? Or if you are with your longtime partner, if you're with a catalyst, or if you are with a twin flame, okay? That's why I give you these tools. And you can also, have the option of therapy. All right, guys. Thank you so much for letting me share this with you. We are soulmates. Thank you, soulmates. You are helping me out, and I'm helping you out. It's an exchange, soulmate exchange. Thank you, guys. You have a great Saturday. Okay. Peace and soul.